Among the fragments found at Sanaa, there is a set of fragments from the Quran. At first glance, it looks like a normal Quran, dating to perhaps late 7th or early 8th century of the Common Era. However, on closer inspection, it was revealed that the document was a palimpsest, meaning it was written over a previously written document. Hence, it contains two layers of text, the upper layer, which is newer, and the lower layer, which is older and was replaced with the upper layer. With different scans, scholars were able to put together the lower text and discover that it wasn't the version of the Quran that we have today. It's a different one. The upper layer, though, which was written after, is the standard Quran that we have today. So, are there different versions of the Quran? According to Islamic tradition, the Quran was revealed to Prophet Muhammad by the angel Gabriel, known as Jibreel in Arabic. The Prophet then dictated the text of the Quran to his companions, some of whom wrote some of it down on parchment, leaves, rocks, etc. Though the primary storage space of the Quran was the minds of the companions, it wasn't compiled into a book form during the Prophet's life. After him, these companions who had memorized the Quran started to pass away, and the Quran seemed to be at the risk of being lost. So Muhammad's successors, the caliphs, started to put it together in a written book form. This book wasn't exactly meant to be read by anyone. The written Quran assumed quite a bit of prior knowledge on the part of the reader, so it wasn't meant to be learned from, but rather to serve as a tool that helps scholars remember the Quran. So you'd have to know what a word was from context, not just from reading. At the time that Uthman completed the compilation of the Quran, there were, according to Islamic tradition, various versions of the Quran floating around. Two of the most famous ones belonged to two companions of the Prophet, Abdullah ibn Masud and Ubay ibn Qab. Also, apparently, different cities had different versions of the Quran. Uthman recalled all these alternate Qurans and destroyed them. Then he sent his standardized Quran to all the major cities to serve as a master copy. Books were copied by hand, and due to human nature, small mistakes were made here and there, which might even accumulate over time, creating almost something like branches. There was certainly an original Quran that existed during the Prophet's time, in memory, with some parts written down here and there. Then this largely oral Quran was written down by various people, creating the alternate codices of Ibn Masud, Ibn Qab, and C1. There is some disagreement over whether the Uthmani Quran, the standard version today, comes directly from the original Quran or whether it comes from one or many of these codices. Is it a descendant of the original Quran, or is it a hybrid of the various descendants of the original Quran? To determine this, scholars have analyzed the different codices available to us and determined the types of changes that exist between them. That a word would be omitted or substituted than added, meaning we're more likely to leave out a word or replace it with another word when talking from memory. We're far less likely to add a new word from scratch. So if there's a new word added somewhere in C1, it is considered a more serious change than when one is omitted.